Hello, my name is Harriet White, and I'd like to do some poetry for you. The day nature died. A ragged woman with matted hair, her hands beating her breast, cried out to all and sundry near, I have seen nature's death. What say you, fool? Go back to sleep. You utter words profane. You wonder not why I do weep? To us it's all the same. I beg you hear. I speak the truth. My tale, it is no lie. Why speak at all, old woman you? Why speak you to us, why? The woman spoke without a pause in midst of public square. She'd come to plead the nature's cause. Her soul she'd come to bear. The voice she used was loud and rich. Her head she held it high. The people asked, who are you, witch? She answered, nature dies. To anyone who to her came, perchance to make her mock, a look she gave to all the same, though some at her threw rocks. When all had left her laughing hard, but one remained a child, who said, old witch, you are a bard, I'll rest and talk a while. Now listen well, you little one, then you must spread the word. Last night to me a dream had come, in it earth had no birds. This dream, unlike I'd had I knew, was not from blessed sleep. Of earth I had a wondrous view, on it nothing to eat. The ground so bare was stripped of soil, no animal survived, no mines, no minerals, no oil, no human was alive, no sun, no clouds, no moon, no stars, the heavens was bereft, no water, all was dry and parched, not anything was left. I thought this is the very end, but then I heard a roar. From out of all the mountains' dens, lava began to pour. The barren ground began to crack, my body it did shake. The skeleton of earth was racked by tremors, then earthquakes. A cavern opened under me. It looked an endless room. The last of earth that I could see was swallowed and consumed. The way of dreams gave consciousness, permitting me to feel. Nothing, it seemed, but me was left. I asked then, was I real? My question put to God last night, the black eternal now. But suddenly I could see light. I knew not why or how. My burning eyes were full of tears, my body on hard ground. I was aware that I was there in shelter I had found. Quite near where I had chose to sleep, there was a running stream. I drank the water cool and sweet, reflecting on my dream. What for to me this dream had come? Was I the chosen one? Why me, a homeless vagabond, the world to depend on? Nature she has unerring ways, for truth it to be known. I had to start without delay, my fate could not bemoan. Where'er I walked on tired feet, I begged all to eschew. No more can we make nature weep, I told them what I knew. There's nothing more from her we need, there's nothing that we lack. To kill what's her most divine deeds will make her fight us back. My child, right here, I'll lay me down, my final resting place. You've listened, you've not made a sound. Have you nothing to say? The child looked straight into the eyes of weary companion. She said to her, I'll gladly die. Tell me what's to be done. What's from the mouths of babes, said the people listened to. Quite soon I know I will be dead. Then chosen one is you. The child, a tiny figure there, the only one who mourned. When all had left the public square, the figure still sat on. She scarcely could believe her eyes. Her friend metamorphosed. Where was a body dead and dry, now was a single rose. In disbelief the child cried out, but did not quit the spot. She heard the people start to shout. the earth that it had shocked. A fissure spread right through the square. The ground began to open. The child who was left standing there knew nature. She had spoken. With single flower clutched in hand, held up so all could see, she said, her voice full of command, think on this rose as she. Nature, I tell you, gives you life indiscriminately. You choose to make yours one of strife. You fight her constantly. The days to come, if you heed not, you'll bow your head and cry. You'll weep for what you've no more got when she decides to die.
Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Ketriana Yvonne, and this is the Ketriana Yvonne Variety Show with our third feature of Poets for Change. And today's guest is Harriet White, and she is a poet that I recently met. Before we go into the interview, I just want to say I picked up the Be Free Award for the First Amendment Award, and that was Poetry for Change featuring Ngoma Hill and Gabrielle Ramirez. I just want to thank my previous guests for this helping make this contribution to winning this award. Okay, so Harriet, how are you?
I'm very well today.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So I just want to say we recently met at a She Reads at NAMA in Harlem.
That's right.
Which is the musical association, the oldest musical association. People, I'd like you to look that up, and you could also catch some more poetry there. So what brings you to be a poet?
That's a really good question because it never crossed my mind that I'd be a poet. I didn't start writing until late in life, and it was really accidental. I just sat down and was scribbling some notes, and I remembered that when I was studying in London in journalism school, one of my papers, my professor said, sounded like poetry, and that was the first time that the thought of poetry ever entered my head. But it was a while after that I decided that after these first 3 attempts that I would seriously go into writing. I don't really like to call myself a poet because that always conjures up images. And I was told once that I don't look like a poet, and so I don't know really what a poet looks like. But I rather write what I call prose in rhyme, because I am a radical pacifist, and my poems reflect that. So it has a kind of rhythm to it, yet it's not exactly rhyming poetry, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay, I understand. And excuse me, I also am a poet, and I understand exactly what you mean. I don't mind being called a poet. I just usually mind, like, what kind of poetry do you do? Or when I say I'm a writer, and people want to put you in a box. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm spirit writer, so I usually say whatever comes to my spirit, and that's how I came up with that name.
Yeah.
So I understand. I think people that think outside the box don't want to be put in the box. And it seems like in the circle of poets, even it's always like, what kind of poet are you?
Yeah.
What kind of poetry do you do? It's clear to me I'm not spoken word. I'm more of a spiritual led poet. So as far as the messages that you bring forth in your art, what is it that you want the world to know, or what do you feel like you can bring about change by writing the things that you do?
Well, I have an enormous agenda.
Share with me.
What I really want the world to know is that war never solved a thing,
Agreed.
and that a civilization which is known for war is not really a civilization. That is the first thing. The most pertinent issue for me today is climate and race. Those are the two which I think are the most important particular items which need to be addressed. Until we address the question of race on this planet, we will never address the question of freedom. Because if anyone remains unfree anywhere, then in reality, none of us are really free. And so race is an enormous issue because it has become an issue of shade, and it is all over the world at the moment. And what shade you are places you in a caste or a class, and also into financial penury if you're not the right shade.
I understand. Okay. So as we all know, that's a deep issue that is probably the beginning of time. We know that race is something that was created for a reason. It's not something that we wake up and decided that people decide to be racist.
No.
I mean, it's a learned.
No, it's a learned.
A part of our history and our society, and right now in the world, it is a current issue that people are talking about. So I'm glad we're having this discussion today because it's important to understand the ramifications to society.
Yes.
At some point, when people admit that it is a problem and they're able to talk about it and know that people of different cultures, different nationalities, all over the world have the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thank you for your deep poetry, and I make a commitment to you to be a part of that change for the world, that we can live and have one day the society that we sing about, say the Pledge of Allegiance to, that we will make that a reality.
Wow.
And so Harriet, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. I can't wait to close out our show with some more of your amazing poetry. What I want our audience to get from this today is to listen to the words and do your part in changing the world. We all have a part in changing the world. So please do yours. And us here as poets will continue to do our best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bubba, Mr. Charlie, and Leroy. Mas Charlie and Bubba done won again. Ain't none of them polecats is my friend. I thought that Bubba would be this time. He ain't got more than me and mine. But Bubba says that 'cause I is black and I is who holds him back. Bubba said that them religious freaks coming here from that there Middle East, he ain't having Mr. Charlie against C-Red, 'cause niggers is talking all out of their heads about some global something we demand all four communities and some such commie stuff like that, saying they get thin while we get fat. Mr. Charlie said that we is all right, 'cause we are going to remain white, and white is right whatever you say. By saying such things is how he pays. I said to Bubba, you know your pick. He say he mighty, mighty rich. You said them riches got you bold. Now it's us niggers. Bubba, is you show? Bubba, is you show? You colored folks, that's wherever you is, ain't got no cotton picking right to live. Them's bad folks, Bubba, does you mean me? I's only bad 'cause I's unfree. Well, slavery, we got it back. Other colored folks is gonna join you blacks. That wall we built, so Bubba say, is where we coloreds we gonna stay. I asked Bubba, tell me where you'll be. Bubba say he will be in gravy. Bubba, I say, will the eats be good? Better than your eats could be or should. Don't want you niggers eating our fat. Miss Charlie, he is not having that. Well, cotton picking time is here again. I see how Bubba now ain't my friend. When we was both eating that corn pone, why Bubba most had me in his home. Course it warn't no better than me or mine. Was trailers me and Bubba we come to find was cheaper than paying all that rent. Could use help from the government. But Bubba say now Mr. Charlie's in. You only get paid if you've white skin. Now, Leroy, ain't you glad it's me, the one that helps you like slavery? I'd say, Bubba, you was mighty nice. I guess that you being mighty white. There's just one thing I'd like to know. Just where does all the money go? Bubba say money you and me ain't seen. That's 'cause those commies and coloreds is mean. But Mr. Charlie's aggressive, cool and kind. He only got one thing on his mind. That's how to fix things so it's us who will just keep getting more justice. Well, I say with my head hung down, you sure he ain't gonna keep us round? Of course, Mr. Charlie needs servants too, them Mexicans, but no blacks or Jews. Well, Bubba, I guess this is goodbye. No need for me to even cry. Big Bubba for real, he ain't no show. When Mr. Charlie told Bubba don't like Negroes, Bubba told me that he feels alive, him thinking about our genocide. Race again. You know, this is a case of race. You people, you are a disgrace. I can't believe you have the time to work this out into your minds. This should have been solved long ago. Tell me why not. Why is it so that you still folks categorize and disrupt other people's lives? It was not long ago with us. Dehumanizing was a must. This system, white supremacy, another way to say Nazi. Can you see it was a plan? You could have fought it. Still you can. But now we really haven't time. Nature's given us plenty signs that you are really on the brink. And as you are, you might well sink. But me, I know that color's naught but about buying and divorce. I wish a time had come when we could discuss this, me and Nietzsche. Nihilism was he who'd said, this thought runs round and round my head. I say, but this is suicide. They think they will still be alive. I had a feeling religion would be used to justify them. I've said the South would fight the North. That's hemisphere, I mean, of course. And now you people seem hell-bent to fight the people whom you went and invaded them due to lies, then stuffed them with some apple pie. America, you are exposed To tear folks apart you have chose. So now we're measured by decree. If dark, a Muslim you might be. If black, a nigger we remain. I ask people, have you no shame? We all belong inside a caste. If white as human you might last, we know what's next. Now I am bored. I've also wrote all this before, yet stupidly we bumble on as if these notions them have gone. The colored ones, it seems to me, to be exceptionality. From Iran to El Salvador, they're smarter people and they're more. It doesn't take a thought to know if push that button we all go. But whites still think that they will be survivors and only them see the pictures showing extinction. There's always a white one among. Now what I ask whites will you do if you don't make it and you lose? I do not try to be banal, just asking folks to think a while. You have decisions you must make involving the whole human race. This could be an historic time, not one in history you'll find, when billions of people want truth. Who's cheating life from our youth? Who dares to denigrate someone because one is not from where you're from? Supremacists, they pay a price. It means you have to remain white, and that you, well, just might not do when nature who's confronting you. An occurrence you seem to wish. Make no mistake, you will get it. Then you'll be used to divert some from asking questions of the ones who are here to manipulate what they know is a case of race. Me, no, I've never been the one. See, you I've often lived among, both you the poor and you the rich. I know that you cannot do it. You've dumbed down to absurdity. You've notions are like idiocy. So placate and propagandize. You'll need more than a bunch of lies to catch me with both my eyes closed. I will be deeply in repose and rested, 'cause I am assured Nazis this time will lose the war. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oumar Coulibaly, and today I would like to read a few poems from my book, Apology. Apology. Oh Lord, how did we get there? We should have been saying no from day one. We should have been wrestling to death. Brothers, selling siblings to the evil. Crash ghastly my heart. So horrible. A long sword between my lungs. So horrible. Brothers, selling siblings to the evil. So horrible. The flesh blood of my sisters, the suffocate flesh of my brothers, dead long ago, but alive between the ramparts of shame, between the paparates of gore, crying, mourning, songs of sorrow. Lexic of a long, long despair that pop sour inches my weight. Oh Lord, how did we get there? We should have been saying no from day one. We should have been wrestling to death. Brothers selling siblings to the devil. So horrible. So horrible. Yes, they done us with their guns, but we should have been saying no. A strong, firm no, but we failed to. We failed to say no, as we failed to say no to the capture and death of Samori Touré. We failed to say no. We failed to say no as we failed to say no to the long looting of our natural resources. Brothers and sisters, O dark soul of the diaspora, from the greatest apology of my devastated heart, accept my greatest sorrow. O Lord, how did we get there? Alone, our ancestor could tell us the truth from the grave. All I know, we failed to say no. Those two simple letters, no. Now I'm going to move to the second poem, which is Cop of New York City. Cop of New York City act as crazy. Cop of New York City has no pity. He flashes gun, shine it under the sun. According to his mood, he dropped my blood. Sin Bell's story is another Amadou Diallo tragedy. Witness at the wrong place. Cop of New York City, he act as crazy. Cop of New York City has no pity. The same sentence, always nonsense. Same shame under a corruption game. Cop shot and walk out after turning off their smoking guns. But there are no sins. Cop of New York City act as crazy. Cop of New York City has no pity. Injustice kill justice. Quiet. Silence to the police violence. They charge the guns. Discharge the guns. Charge again. Discharge again on the city sons. But there are no sins. Cop of New York City act as crazy. Cop of New York City has no pity. My third poems will come from my second book, Subliminal Transcendence. Black Lives Matter. Human life is sacred. Blacks are human. Then, Black Lives Matter. From the depths of Africa, I felt the heat of bullets that silenced Amadou Diallo by the New York City police officer. I was greatly frightened. I wept and bled. When Trayvon Martin freed too soon his ghost in St. Ford, under the fiery call of George Zimmerman, as I witnessed justice unjustly cheer the serial killer, mumbling from the unknown and long forgotten graves, the voices of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, struggling to shout the unfairness. Oh Lord, I hear the silent complaint of Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, and many other brothers who all too soon were gone in the age of flowers. Now, a generation is on the street, voicing against the genocide of young black males who once hoped to ride the America dream. I am again From the mount of recent traveling souvenir, I will carry to my tombstone. But just before I was born, I taught my son the gloomy story of the land I thought I knew. I was always black and unarmed when the tragedy of death whistled red on my complexion throughout the street of the United States of America. Human life is sacred. Black are humans. Then Black lives matters. Thank you.
Hi. So, thank you so much for being a guest on my show today, and thank you for sharing. No apologies.
The pleasure is mine.
Can you tell me what led you to write that beautiful piece?
Well, I wrote about apology because it was a controversial topic into my community, whether Africans have participated into the development of slavery. Well, instead of getting into the controversy in a way that people will answer yes or not Africa did participate to slavery, for me it was most important to apologize. Because for me, there were no doubts that some Africans were part of a slavery trade. Mm-hmm. And up to this date, it's happening in countries such as Sudan and many other countries. So this piece was to apologize to all the brothers all over the world that, we haven't fight enough to stop this trade. So I hope that, the people of the diaspora hear my apology and accept it.
Okay. Well, I accept your apology. Thank you. No one's, that's something I think in America, African Americans, we seek an apology. At this point, to have an apology from an African from Nigeria, from the Gold
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
Right.
And people that really, can you tell us a little bit about, when we discuss the slavery initially, how it came about, and that, people are usually quick to say, well, they were African and they were doing it. So can you tell us a little bit about what that really was about?
Well, slavery happened in every society, whether it's in Africa or in Europe. They used to say that people who were slaves were unfortunate. I do not share that point of view. I believe it was the manifestation of power over other human beings. Well, slavery become expand by the technique of a European, who I would call lazy people. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to do hard work. They wanted cheap labor. So they focused themselves on Africans because they believed that Africans were stronger, and they were ignorant at the time of, what was really happening to them. Well, in a general view, I would say slavery was really expanded by European, but it happened in between Africans. It happened also in European society before, so that's all I can say about it.
Yeah. So, okay. So, on a lighter note, but it is important to discuss
Of course,
things that are difficult, and that's what we
it
do on
is.
this show. We talk about things that affect society. And the number one thing right now that's always affected society was the race issue. In 1960s, even here in the United States, it was the Negro problem. So I don't generalize things and act like they don't exist
Right.
because that's what we're here to try to fix for
That's right.
ourselves. We're not asking anyone for an apology.
Right.
I accept yours,
Right.
but it's just the work that has to be done
Right.
and how it affects our children, how it affects going forward.
Right.
So as poets, this is what we do.
Right.
We keep
We
it
do.
real. We tell the
That's correct.
truth.
We say the truth.
And we hope that our words can, in some way, influence and bring about change
Yes,
because it is necessary for our future.
it is.
So, not to go on to your book that I had the pleasure of reading,
Right.
and this book was recommended to me, and I don't get a chance to read a lot.
Right.
And usually, how I judge something that's good is that I can finish it.
Right.
Now, it's not that many pages, but I read it overnight. Subliminal Transcendence, which was an absolute must read.
Right.
And, you talk about it's like family.
Right.
It's really a good book.
Right.
And
Injustice,
so,
police
so
violence.
where can people pick this book up?
They can get that on Amazon, xliblis.com. That's the company who publish the book. They can also get the book there.
Okay, people, if you want an interest in read to bring about change, you can find this on at Amazon under Coulibaly.
Right.
Okay, so what else would you like us to learn about you today?
Well, I want to tell to the people that I, through my poetry, express problem we have in our society. I'm real. I mean, there is no rule into my poetry.
Yes.
Anywhere my head or my hand can extend, I do go there. So if you go through my book, you will see topic like police violence. You will see things about racism, because racism, it's a reality. And I believe we must fight racism until it goes back to the grave. Because a society with racism does not improve, you know. So I just want to tell the people, if they have a chance to get to grab one of the book, they will probably be
Enlightened.
enlightened, delighted to go through this process and enjoy the book.
Yes,
Right.
very enjoyable. So I thank you so much for coming on the show today.
The pleasure
I
was
wish you
mine.
all the success.
Thank you.
I also want to say that I want to support Kumar here. He is also on the kidney donor list. So I just want to say good luck with that.
Thank
And
you.
America, eat right, take care of yourself.
Right.
Because we need our kidneys. Okay?
We do.
And that's another issue for another time.
Right.
So I thank my guests. Thank you so much.
The pleasure was mine.
Thank you.
really have the answer when it comes to the whole Meridian sound.
They call me a Muslim, they call a Jew. Said he's a Christian, tell me what are you? We've been fighting these wars for so long. From the cannonballs, the time it passed. We could be friends, we could be friends, we could be friends. Oh wow, we could be friends. They call him a Christian, they call her a Jew. Said he's a Muslim, tell me what are you? We've been fighting this war for so long. From the cannonballs, the time it passed. We could be friends, we could be friends, we could be friends. Oh wow, we could be friends, we could be friends, we could be friends, we could be friends. Oh wow, we could be friends. We've been going for so long. From the cannonballs, the time it passed. We could be friends, we could be friends, we could be friends. Oh wow, we could be friends. They call him Jewish, they call him a Hindu. Says she's Muslim, tell me what are you? We've been fighting this war for so long. From the cannonballs, the time it passed. We could be friends. Zami maman, ouais. Tout ça vous fait pour moi. Tout ça vous dit moi. C'est bon Dieu qui l'a ciel. Zami maman, ouais. Tout ça vous fait pour moi. Tout ça vous dit moi. C'est bon Dieu qui l'a ciel. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, ah. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, ah, ah. Take our hand, look in his eyes, tell her that there'll be a ride, there'll be no fighting, no cries at night, tears at night, fears at night. Take her hand, there'll be no fighting, no cries at night, fears at night, tears at night. Take her hand, decide, and tell her it'll be alright. There's no fighting, no cries at night, no fears around, no tears around. Oh, we could be friends. Oh, we could be friends.
Hi, today's guest is happening. It's live sessions here with Meridian Lights. And I'm in awe of the magnitude of the presence and the musicality of this group. I met about a year ago, and I've been talking about them to everyone. I don't get to catch them as much as I like to, but they stay with my spirit. So that's what counts. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and I hope you enjoy the music. And do you have well, introduce yourself. Well.
I'm Bradley Valentine. I'm Yohimbe Sampson.
And Yohimbe, what does your name mean?
Well, my name is Yohimbe, and that's the botanical name of this tree. The tree existed in West Africa, but they used it not all up, but there's still some left. But they really still have it in Cameroon. They actually use it in the language out there, everyday language. And they use the barks, the leaves, and the roots as a cardiac stimulant. And at your local bodegas, you'll see it right next to the cash register. And so, yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Hey, I love to share.
Would that be like the Maroon people? Where are you from?
I'm from here. My family's all from the U.S., I know people always say, like, you're from the Caribbean, but no, I'm here.
Okay, cool. And so what is it that inspired you to come together as a group? And what is the message that you want to leave people with from your music?
I mean, we met a couple of years ago at an organization that we both were really active in. And then, we both decided to kind of work on a song together. And that song was Star. It was one of our first songs. And then after that, we just decided to make more music. And then that kind of that's how the band started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think when we perform or when we create music, I get, one thing that we want people to walk away from is definitely some optimism and belief in, I guess, what you can do. What we all can do when we put our positive minds and energy towards something. That amazing things can happen. And, people ask us all the time, how's it going? And, I'm always enjoying being in this project because I'm able to work with Brad, and we create songs that make me really, I guess, make me remind me why I started making music, the things I wanted to express, the things I wanted to experience, the things I wanted to feel. It happens with this group, and so that's kind of what we want people to experience too,
Well, I think you accomplished what your intention was, and you can continue. I just want to thank you so much. I mean, I feel like my spirit is lifted. It's been lifted for since I met you guys.
Right.
And so that means a lot to me. I am tough, okay? I don't just like any music. I don't even like today's music. I have as I told you, I have my top 5, and I said you was number 6, and I guess you were like, what are you talking about? So you're one of, you're the next.
Appreciate that. We appreciate
Meridian
that.
Lights. And also I wanted to ask about the name of the group and how you came about that name.
Well, Yohimbe also explains that a little better than me, because I could ramble on about it.
Yeah, I think Meridian, we were called Meridian, and we kind of felt that was the title of the group, but there was something else coming about, and we kind of tossed it around, and Lights came, and Meridian, you can define it in a lot of different ways, but one way is to look at it is when things intersect, like there's a meridian between the sky and the ground, or between the heavens and the earth, between the spirit world and physical world. Is those points where things connect and intersect, and that's the meridian. And with our music, we call it Meridian Lights because it's kind of like beaconing those connections and those connectivities, and we do feel like there's an interconnectedness to all things that are living or alive and moving, and so we make music for that.
Yes. Okay. That sounds wonderful. And you picked the right name for your group. So, and Bradley, I just wanted to ask you, what inspires you? I think someone who was in real estate before.
I mean, that was me. Yeah.
Okay. So how does it feel to? Are you currently?
I mean, I've done real estate, but mostly besides music, I've been really heavily in arts education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Which one? Arts education or real estate? I've had the opportunity to work with amazing, reputable organizations in New York City that allowed me to kind of, pretty much just do the work that I feel very passionate about, and that's social justice, social awareness amongst our black and brown kids. I've been doing that for over a decade, so it's something that's helped me as a human being. It's also even helped me as a musician and educator. So yeah.
Okay, great. Good to hear. And how does it feel to when you transition from, I don't know, maybe you loved real estate, but to be able to do the thing that you love and plus touch black and brown children and in a positive way. How does that make you feel to do what you love to do? And I stress this only because there's so many people that have a gift within that don't take the courage to just jump out on faith and live it. So I believe that's what happened with you two. And so give some advice for people to just live their dream or their intention.
I don't deem myself a master of it because I'm still a student. I'm still learning the answers. But I just know, like, whatever it is that you really, really want to pursue, given the fact, hoping that you have found it and you found your calling, because I truly believe everybody has a calling, right. That whatever is going on in your life is still pursue that. So I've gotten to a place in my life where I don't judge whoever has to work this job to pay ends meet, but just make sure that job that's also paying your ends meet is also supporting your art, and it's encouraging you to really do for yourself and feed that calling so it could be go into fruition and have legs and do whatever service it's supposed to do throughout the world. So that's the only advice I would do. Just while you're doing that, keep pursuing your love.
Okay, sounds like good advice. I think that is there a website or tour dates that you want people to look out for?
I guess we got the website is meridianlightsmusic.com. The IG and all that. Yeah, and
you can check us out on Instagram at Meridian Lights, as well as Facebook, Meridian Lights Music. If you live in SoundCloud, that's the wave now, so soundcloud.com/Meridian Lights. And we do have a bunch of music and an album coming out, hopefully by summer.
Okay.
So just look out for that. Yeah.
I'll be looking. Okay, great. I thank you so much. It's been awesome sitting here listening and talking to you. I wish you all the success.
Same here.
And we're going to close our show today. And I just want to thank everyone.
Rashida, I can feel pain. Rashida, you are the only sun in this rain. Rashida, I've tried a couple of girls, but they don't compare to you. Rashida, I'll be running after you. I don't care if you wanna go away. I'll be running after you. The bird will sing, will sink or swim. I'll be running after you. I don't care if you wanna go away. Rashida, I can feel pain. Rashida, you are the only sun in this rain. Rashida, we just out here in the world, but I know I'm always safe with you.